This video is going to be about raising your spiritual frequency and keeping it in a high state. Also, how to keep it there so that we may live a happier life and move out of negative emotions much quicker so we can maintain that frequency. Hi, my name is Aaliyah. I'm a spiritual coach and my practice is based on spiritual astrology. For my services, which include birth chart readings, visit guidetotappingin.org. Now let's get back into the video. So for starters, your frequency is the energy from which you operate. Someone with a high frequency is someone who is often in a good mood or at least neutral and who is able to operate in their lives with a certain clarity and optimism. It's the quality of your life. So someone with a low frequency, for example, might be cold to others due to cutting themselves off from others and may feel therefore closed off from the world and may have a solely negative view of it. This will make their life experiences more negative because that is the way they view their world. So your spiritual frequency is very important, and keeping it at a high level and maintaining it to stay there through consistent daily ritual is important to the quality of your life and its experiences. There are ways you can start to increase your spiritual frequency if you feel you've been operating on a lower level and you want better for yourself. One of the best ways to do so is meditation. Meditation is mindful activity of the brain where your brain is focused and your mind is relaxed. Your nervous system is relaxed and you are totally in your creator imaginative energy. You can meditate through mindful activities such as washing the dishes. Being totally present in anything to where you enter a flow state is a meditative act. But conscious meditation is when you sit down on the floor or in a chair upright or even laying down. But I do suggest, if you are new to meditation, starting off by sitting crisscross on the floor, back straight, and closing your eyes, and you can use a guided meditation to help you. To this day, I use guided meditations. They're all over YouTube, and it's a person with a calming voice guiding you into relaxing your body and mind, and then using visualizations to create your ideal state. It's extremely effective to the point of magic, and it feels so good when followed closely. And you can check the link below for my guided meditation playlist. It also includes some frequency sound videos, and it's so useful for starting out because it makes you excited to meditate. Meditating can increase your spiritual frequency because it keeps your mind focused on the divine, on higher planes, higher emotions, higher thoughts. You are going about your day feeling so down about yourself and your life and others even, and then you meditate and you put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and in that moment it's you and you. It's total devotion. And you see yourself doing all these amazing things, feeling all these amazing things, and you start to really believe over time in your ability to become the person you want to be. It's very effective because it can drive divine action. Divine action, also known as aligned action, is when you are taking steps towards a goal you have because you have developed your sense of belief to such a high place that you know by doing this action it has potential to breed success. Therefore, it's doing it for its own sake. It's a highly intentional way of doing and seeing things. And meditation can take you to that state of mind, of confidence, of vitality, due to increased energy. It is a beautiful thing to do for yourself, to make yourself happy, to calm yourself if you're a naturally anxious person. And it's one of those things you can start off doing small and incrementally increase. So if you meditate for 5 minutes because that's the longest you can stay focused, then it's still amazing. The benefits are still there. I started off doing 5 minutes, then 10, then 20, and now I can do 25 minutes of guided meditations. It's effective and benefits cannot be overstated. It's scientifically proven to improve mood and change frequency when done over time.
That a person who meditates for even just 2 weeks, 30 minutes a day, shows a different pattern of brain activity than when they started 2 weeks before. And that is really important because it suggests that the brain really is plastic, that we really can make these changes, and that it actually doesn't take that much.
There are actual studies of how the brain looks during meditation and meditative acts, and it's incredible, its effect. So just check those out as well as my meditation playlists below.
New meditation, very simple. Sit in silence and smile.
Now, the next thing for me to increase spiritual frequency is journaling. I've kept a journal since I was able to write, but I know not everyone is a natural writer. But journaling is something that can be enjoyed at any age and can be started at any time because it's literally just writing. To journal consciously is when you are writing out your dreams for yourself or for the world, and you are doing so with the intention of it being your reality. So, scripting, for instance, is a form of journaling where you are writing about something happening that hasn't technically happened yet, but you write about it as if it did, and you experience all the emotions as if it did happen as you are journaling about the experience. If you want your first car, for instance, or even a new car because the car you have is janky, and you know having a new car will improve your life in some way, and you have a strong desire to get a new car, you could journal about the day you go to the dealership or meet up with a private seller to get your new car. You may write about how amazing you feel, how special of a day it is, and how grateful you are to have the money and resources to do this. All the plans you have for your new car, travel plans, etc. So there's no limit to what you can write about because there's no limit to what you can do. Journaling can also be used to synthesize emotions and emotional events in your life. Rather than ruminating over a difficult situation in your life or challenging life event that's happening, you can write about it in a journal and talk about how you feel about what's going on and write about the good, even if it's a small good that's coming out of this situation. And this can end up leading to gratitude writing, and it can completely change your perspective on the situation by the end of your writing session. Starting out writing, I've done this before, writing when you're in such a low mood and writing about how low you feel. And then as the writing continues, you end up talking about the good that you see in the situation. And then it spirals into all the other times challenges have brought you blessings. And all of a sudden you feel good, having synthesized the fact that something challenging and ultimately beneficial is happening. And those two feelings are occurring simultaneously. By the end of these kind of sessions, you may feel clear-headed and elated, feeling like the challenging event is already over with. So what journaling does is it synthesizes emotions and thoughts, and it works the left and right brain so you're coming up with solutions using your left brain, making sense of complex issues, and shifting perspective using your right. And this working together of both sides creates a total perspective shift that can change your life, can give you peace, hope, and can cause you to act on a new hunch that will improve your life. It's an amazing gift. Think of it as spelling being a spell. You can work new realities into your world through words that you write down. And it's because writing is such an intentional act that makes it so magical. The words you are writing or typing are coming straight into the physical. It's a direct and quick birthing. So it's very powerful, and I advise anyone to start journaling. It's also helpful when you are in a low mood and can look back at an old journal entry and see the difficulties you were going through back then and perhaps forgot about, and see how you were able to move through that event with such grace, and it can in turn inspire you to do the same with the current situation. It reminds you of your resilience as a human being. The same can happen when you read other people's journal entries from even 100 years ago. Writers like Anais Nin, Franz Kafka, and you can appreciate that these human beings who are so stellar in their achievements in our world were still human and had human emotions and human turmoil as well, and also worked through them and found peace again and again on these pages. So it's really comforting. There's actually a James Baldwin quote that really talks about this, where he says, "You think your pain and your heartbreak are unprecedented in the history of the world, but then you read. It was books that taught me that the things that tormented me most were the very things that connected me with all the people who were alive, who had ever been alive." Now, talking on words and their effect on our physical realities, let's talk about incantations, or in other words, affirmations. Now, I've said before how important words are to manifesting, and when I say manifesting, I don't just mean to have a material object. I mean in a general sense, because we manifest all day long, whether consciously or not. So when I say manifesting, I mean manifesting happiness in a general sense, overall well-being, creating it for oneself. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, words are so important to manifesting because they are, as I said before, this literal birthing. It's something from the unconscious, the mind, and it's immediately brought out into the world in the form of words. So it's very magical, and what you say affects your life. if you say every single day 50 times in the mirror for the next 5 months straight that you are confident, then you will notice that your self-esteem likely improved over those 5 months. It's undeniable. So what you say will attract, and it's because of the perspective change that occurs when you constantly speak something over your life. Now, I gave a good example, but on the other hand, if you say in the mirror 50 times a day for 5 months straight that you're ugly, then you will notice that people start to treat you with contempt. You will notice that you feel disgusted at your appearance. So this is the power of words and incantations. Whatever you want to be or have, say you are that, or that you are worthy of that thing, and you will be it and you will have it. It is law. Now, I want to give you some affirming techniques that I've learned and practiced throughout the years that have really helped me to go back to a neutral or positive state quickly when I was in a negative state. So I still do these to this day, and I find them immediately effective in calming me down and lifting my frequency. So for starters, let's say you're really worried about something. Let's say you have a job interview, meeting up with new people, you're going on a date with a new person, you're really worried or anxious about a project you have to present, but it's something that you hope for the best for. So, you hope the date goes well, you hope the project presentation goes well, but you're really worried and it's making you anxious. Now, something very important you could say, and something very powerful you could say is, in that moment, you can close your eyes and you can say in your head or out loud, I ask for the most benevolent outcome to come from this. I pray for the highest good to come from this. And again, I ask for the most benevolent outcome to come from this. I pray for the highest good to come from this. And it just feels so powerful. As soon as you say it, it's as though you immediately take back your power in that seemingly powerless situation, and you say, I am giving this situation a higher chance to be successful. I am giving it a charge of positivity by submitting to it completely and lifting it above my head and hands to the Most High and all that it encompasses. So, positivity, life force, and love, whatever that means for you. Another thing to say is, after being with negative people or being in a negative environment for a long period of time, and you're leaving that environment feeling really drained in your energy. So say you met up with some family members and they complained the whole time and talked about other family members, and it just made you really stressed and anxious. And when you got there, you were in a really good mood, and now you're leaving this environment and you just feel very drained and exhausted. So something you could say in the drive back, or even in the moment, you can close your eyes, take a moment to yourself. You can say out loud or in your head, I call back my own energy, and I release all energy that doesn't belong to me. I call back my own energy, and I release all energy that doesn't belong to me. Now, this is powerful because it protects you by signaling to yourself that you are an autonomous being. You don't have to take on other people's energy if it doesn't feel good. And you also strengthen your own love for yourself by affirming that you have good energy that you want to go back to. You have a healthy, natural state that you wish to stay in, and you don't allow anything or anyone else to contaminate that, even if you love them. So this is a very good incantation to speak and to even think when you're in a negative situation. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is music. Now, music is all powerful. It cannot be overstated how deep it goes with music. Music itself is a frequency. It is sentient, if you can believe it. It has its own energy, and any and everything you listen to has a frequency. So we always hear, you should be mindful of the state of mind you wish to be in when you put on a song. For instance, you'll notice when you listen to R&B, you may suddenly be in a very sensual mood. You listen to jazz, it can make you feel very free or creative or even melancholy depending on the song. It's very powerful. A song can have a bounce, an edge, and a very high or low frequency. So music is a terrific tool to start using when you want to start manifesting more happiness in your life or more joy on a regular basis. So I have a playlist that is available on Apple Music if you're interested, in the link below. But on the screen, you can see some of the songs on my personal prosperity and abundance playlist, which I do recommend creating one for yourself, where there are songs that have words or lyrics in them that are so positive and personal to you and uplifting, that really speak to you, that when you sing them and listen to them, you feel like, yes, this is what I want to feel about myself. Yes, I agree that I see the world in this beautiful way, and I see myself in this beautiful way, or at least I want to. For one of the favorites on this playlist, I want to talk about are this song called "Feeling So Good" by Jennifer Lopez. This song, I just love the lyrics and the high vibe it has. Some of the lyrics are, when I opened up my eyes today, I felt the sun shining on my face. It became so clear to me that everything was going to be okay, or everything was going my way. I feel like there's no limit to what I can see. I got rid of fears that were holding me. My endless possibilities has the whole world open for me, and that's why I'm feeling so good. So I just love that. That's just like a lyric in the song. And when you sing it, it feels really good to say and it feels good to listen to. There's also a song simply titled Love by Jhené Aiko, a soul artist. And in the song, she says, I feel it deep in my soul. Whenever I'm feeling low, anytime there's a void, I choose to fill it with joy. And there's also Make It Happen by Mariah Carey, where she sings, I often cried myself to sleep, still I had to keep on going, never knowing if I could take it, if I would make it through the night. I held on to my faith, I struggled and I prayed, and now I found my way. Now, this song is amazing for when you need that inspiration about coming out of the other side of a hard time. You know, it's so affirming and inspiring. And you're reminded when she's singing it that you're not alone in anything. Someone has been through what you may be going through, small or large. And no matter what, you can still come out on the other side as they did. All glowing, you know? So another one is a classic by Nina Simone called Feeling Good. Everyone knows the song, and, you know, it comes on and she just immediately starts in with birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, that's how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Enough said. You know, it's songs like these that are uplifting to the spirit. And if you listen to the lyrics of a song and are intentional about what you listen to, you can shift moods and therefore raise your spiritual frequency like that, you know, so fast and so quick. And anger that used to last days can be gone in minutes or even seconds if you start to incorporate some of these tips into your life on a regular basis. You know, we can lead happier existences. Life does not have to be terrible, and living life doesn't have to be hard, you know, just where sad things happen all the time and we're just miserable and full of contempt with things that anger us. You know, sadness and anger have their place, but perspective can shift anything seemingly bad into simply a challenge. And our resilience, birthed through our high spiritual frequencies and all that we do to maintain that, can always rise above any circumstance. So just keep that in mind, just a quick video, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.